Remember, inside the vehicle can be much worse. Now, we actually put a thermometer inside the car just about 30 minutes ago, and already the temperature is at 122 degrees inside the vehicle. Page after page, name after name, there's nearly 11,000 men and women listed on this wall who've made the ultimate sacrifice. I gotta tell you, this right here, this is my favorite part of the Illinois State Fair. If you deep fat fry it and put it on a stick, I'm definitely gonna eat it. I'm here just outside of the Bellflower Township Cemetery, where the hearse carrying the casket of Ryan Albin is moving just past us right now, about to enter into the cemetery. People who leave a domestic violence situation have a 75% chance of being killed. And without social service agencies or domestic violence shelters to turn to, death is a very real possibility. Distracted driving has been an issue long before cell phones. Things like the radio, grabbing a bite to eat on your way home from work, maybe even other people in your car. In fact, all that remains is a chalking that you can see in the street right here. It reads, "Governor, do your job." I want to do a quick look here. Look at this getup. It can't be very cool.
No.
The carnival is one of the main attractions here at the Illinois State Fair, and even though the merry-go-round is one of the more calm options, with summer here and schools let out for summer break, there are thousands of children in central Illinois alone who don't know where their next meal will come from. Claudia, you are the official hostess of the Illinois State Fair. What are some things that people can look forward to this year? Stacey, it seems odd to say that a district that can keep their doors open until December is actually considered one of the lucky ones, but that's the reality here in Illinois. Several schools are talking about closing their doors in October, September, others not even able to open their doors this fall without a balanced budget. Slashing budgets, eliminating positions, and allowing students to suffer. It's a storyline schools have faced for 2 years, but now these hurdles are insurmountable, and by fall, some of them will have nothing left to cut.
It's very stressful to live in that place of uncertainty, knowing that we are growing as a community. We're going to have more and more students, and we don't know that we'll have the money that we truly need to support those students if we don't pass a budget.
In many rural areas, schools are more than education. If doors don't open, children will be at risk for losing much more than just a curriculum.
I really worry about who's going to feed them, who's going to take care of them while their parents are at work. They will literally be at risk for their very survival.
Often touting himself as the education governor, Bruce Rauner took heavy blows, many accusing the governor of holding education hostage for political gains.
It's frustrating as teachers because while they're debating political issues here, I'm telling a kid that he's got to sell $60 worth of material to even get to play a sport that makes him want to come to school.
But other lawmakers reiterated Governor Rauner's what they call commitment to education, citing a broken pension system as the real problem.
He is the education governor. He's put more money into education. It's simply that the budget is inconceivably backheaded when you're spending 30% of your general revenues on pensions.
After the contentious hearing, parents and teachers say it's very clear why Illinois is in this gridlock.
Folks aren't even willing to listen. I mean, it was very telling to me that after certain representatives made their statements and got out what they wanted to say, they got up and left and didn't even want to hear what we as parents had to say.
Now, property taxes were also a topic of discussion at the hearing today. Remember, that's one of Governor Rauner's main sticking points on budget negotiations. Parents and teachers say local revenue is all they have right now because they can't depend on the state. So a property tax freeze would just be another way to, quote, handcuff districts. For now, reporting live at the Capitol, I'm Jaclyn Driscoll, News Channel 20 at 5. Dee, this small town of just over 40,000 people is absolutely shaken after today's events. Now, we're live here at Belleville West High School, where Hodgkinson attended school years ago, and we actually spoke with a former schoolmate who considered Hodgkinson a friend. He called him a fun-loving guy, said he was always the jokester at all the parties. He says everything about the ambush in Alexandria took him by surprise. Local law enforcement, ATF agents, and the FBI surrounded the home of James T. Hodgkinson, the suspected Alexandria shooter. Now, members of his hometown, Belleville, Illinois, are shocked.
It's despicable regardless of who's responsible for it, but it gives you an enlightenment of, you know, God, these people are normal, ordinary people, can come from New York City, can come from Los Angeles, California, or they can be from Belleville, Illinois.
A former schoolmate from Bellevue West High School struggled to find words as he came to terms with Wednesday's events.
He was a friend of mine.
Hold on, guys.
It's just amazing of what happened. He did it.
A friend of Hodgkinson says he wasn't aware of strong political beliefs, and he would have never expected this.
I just want to let people know that he wasn't evil, that he was, I guess, tired of some of the politics that are going on.
There has been little indication as to reason or motive behind this incident.
I think it was a despicable situation brought on by a demon in this man's head over our political atmosphere.
Now, the St. Clair County Sheriff Rick Watson is the only member of law enforcement to speak with any of the news outlets that are here in Belleville today. Now, he talked about a 2007 incident with Hodgkinson where he allegedly fired a gun. There was no indication as to whether those shots fired were at a person or just in the air, but he did mention that Hodgkinson was never charged. For now, live in Belleville, I'm Jaclyn Driscoll. John, we're going to send it over to you. Stacey, Illinois used to have a funeral and burial benefits program which served thousands each year to cover just a portion of funeral costs for those who didn't have the means or didn't have next of kin. The program was halted by the Quinn administration and then cut altogether by Governor Bruce Rauner. It's only open once a year in the back corner of an old mausoleum not far from Abraham Lincoln's tomb, a crypt, where people who died in Sangamon County without the means to pay for a burial are laid to rest.
I feel bad that there would be cremations sitting in our basement on a shelf, and so we felt, and we got together with Oak Ridge Cemetery and came up with a solution.
It doesn't happen often where someone dies without any friends or family, but if it did, the deceased qualified for monetary assistance if they received public aid.
That amount didn't cover all the funeral expenses, but it was a percentage reimbursement, and oftentimes funeral homes would adjust their charges to assist the family in kind of meeting the family where they were at.
But that's not the case anymore. State funds for funerals have been eliminated, and now funeral homes are oftentimes covering expenses.
Who ends up absorbing that cost is usually the funeral home. We work very well with the coroners in the surrounding area, even people with the state. So if nobody is claiming this person, what they do is they call us, and then immediately we take them into our care and handle it from there.
The coroner's office can also be stuck with cremation costs if no next of kin is found, which are typically around $2,000.
We do everything we can. We exhaust every avenue to contact next of kin. And just occasionally there is a person that just literally has no family.
Indigent burial assistance is now just another item on a multi-billion-dollar tab the state can no longer afford. Now, funeral homes say they are still filing for funeral and burial benefits despite the program being eliminated. They say if it were ever reinstated, there may be funds allocated for services that have been provided. Back to you.